Thank you very much. no money could save him, so he lay down and died. Oh, what a lucky man he was. What a lucky man he was. Just take a pebble and cast it to the sea, and watch the ripples that comfort into me. My face feels so gently into your disturbing the waters of our shreds of our memories are lying on your grass. Dead words of laughter are graveyards of the past. Photographs of grey and torn scattered in your
Sense of humour, which I love, and he's kind of the referee. He's the balance in the band. You know, I can be very serious, and so can Greg. But in the middle, you've got Carl, who's like very jovial and sorts things out and makes everything okay at the end of the day. You know. So.
And Keith Emerson.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh boy, I don't know. I've got certain serious aspects, but underneath it all, I think that humour is very important. You know, would hope that, I hate saying this, all the road crew are listening to me, yeah? They've all gone very quiet. Anyway, I don't want to talk anymore about myself.
Thanks a lot for this interview.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, bye.
First of all, Carl Palmer, Keith Emerson, I would like to know which is your balance about the gigs that you have already played in Buenos Aires, this second time here in our country.
The balance.
To balance the results, what you think about the gigs.
Oh, I see.
The worst and the best of the gigs in Buenos Aires.
Well, I think Buenos Aires is quite a hip town, actually. They seem to be quite knowledgeable, quite. There's a big interest in progressive music, bands of our period, as it were. They're extremely receptive, you know, as people. They remind me of an American audience, personally. Two nights we had here, I thought were exceptional, to be honest. I thought were really, really good. It's an exciting place to play. It's a good sound in the theatre. It's the Rex, isn't it, we're playing?
Yeah, the Rex.
That's a good sound. Yeah, I liked it. I know what you thought, Keith. I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, when we came here the first time in '93, I was quite amazed, you know, how much the audience knew about us. They knew the lyrics, and which I, you know, is it's a great compliment. You know, it's to come all this way and people know exactly what you're about.
It's different for you, the approach with an audience that is an English-speaking audience and an audience that is not like the Latin American audience. It's different, the preparation is different to know that part of the audience will listen directly to the music rather than to the lyrics, and probably this would be a good question for Lake. He's the one that write most of the lyrics of the songs.
Well, we've played all over the world, from Japan to, I mean, you name it, we've played it, and in nearly every country, there's never been a problem with the lyrics. You know, whether they understand them thoroughly or not, I don't really know.
They probably don't, but I think the music carries a complete sentiment, you know. It's a moment in time you see the band play live. It's music you've heard on the radio, you've heard it on the CD. It's the whole thing, you know. I don't think you can just look at the lyrics and say, do they understand it in all of those lyrics in Buenos Aires, because it's a Spanish-speaking country and we're singing in English. They probably don't, but it's the overall sort of ambience which I think the people are enjoying and living. I would imagine we could play certain towns in America and people wouldn't understand exactly what was being sung about all of the time. And people would understand and have their own way of thinking about it or reading into it, and another person might get something else from it. So it really is an open book, you know, the lyrical side. I think when there is a language problem, I think people get other things from music, you know, get other sort of feelings.
How do you feel playing together again, playing these old tunes? The last time you were here and the last tour was to present the Black Moon album. You were playing new songs. In this tour, you are playing, for me, incredible new versions and probably sometimes better versions, like the old wine, you know, like with that taste of your classics. How do you feel doing this now? For me, playing better than even in the best days of the progressive rock era.
Should I give him the money now?
I think, yeah, it's good as endorsement.
It's for free, Carl, don't worry.
I mean, those pieces are, we always enjoy playing them, and they're challenging to play. And every time we play them on stage, something different can really take over. I mean, every night the improvisation that I get into is completely different, and this will, you know, Carl will pick up on that and do something else. I mean, obviously we stick to a framework, but I think that's what's so exciting about the music that we do play. You know?
I would like to know some things about your personalities as individuals. For example, which are your preferences? Which are the worst things you have been hearing throughout these years in music, and which are the best, for example, for you, Carl, and for you, Keith?
Wow, the worst and the best.
The worst and the best.
Wow.
Don't be so polite as a British that probably will.
I would say the worst for me, I would say would have to be what we call in England house music, which is not the sort of the techno sort of part, but that sort of just, you know, two chords which are just thumping away with a real big sort of drum sound. A lot of people might think I would like that, but I just find that is really monotonous music. It's usually linked to drugs, ecstasy or something, you know, and strobe lights or whatever. I find that very boring to listen to, and I know that really you don't listen to, you dance to this music. I can't understand why people would want to dance to 3 hours to two chords being played. I find that very, you know, pathetic, to tell the truth. That I would say is the worst. I'd have to think about the best.
Okay,
that would be the
while
worst.
Keith probably tell us about the worst, you could think about the best.
I mean, it's stuff which is created in a laboratory, you know, and it's. I just wonder what the producers and engineers feel like when they come out from a mixing session of that, because, you know, they've got to be zombies. But But and I think basically the people that put that together, I mean, I can't see that they can't possibly be playing musicians. It's people that want the glory of you know, what musicians are prone to have, and they want a piece of it. And the quickest way to get there is to manufacture something. You know, that we were watching a John Cage program on television, and John Cage said that if you play a piece of music to somebody for 4 minutes and they find it boring, play it to them for 8 minutes. If they still find it boring after 8 minutes, play them another further 16 minutes of it. And if they still find it boring after 16 minutes, play 32 minutes. And he said, you find that by that time people aren't bored anymore. And I think this is basically...
They're suicidal.
They're suicidal. But this is what this two-chord stuff does. I think if that's all you've got, after a while, it is infectious.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I can be in a place and you can hear this annoying music going on, and all of a sudden you find yourself going, subconsciously, like, you know, what am I doing this for?
It's like TV, you know?
Well, it's linked to drugs, though. They're always linked to drugs.
Well, a lot of the kids that attend it, though, in their defence, that not all of them, they don't all do drugs. No.
But
you mentioned drugs twice in this conversation. You started as musicians in a decade that was linked with drugs, and actually sex, drugs, and rock and roll was the hip thing to do in the 70s and the 60s, and basically
I think it still is very hip, really.
Yeah,
in a different way.
Yeah,
now.
probably.
It's hip now with house music, ecstasy, whatever you want to call it. You know, it exists today in a different form.
But what do you think about drugs? Actually, drugs linked to music, that sometimes were linked to progressive psychedelic sounds, and it was said that to create a new dimension in music you have to be stoned. But actually the Beatles says that they create the Sgt. Pepper under LSD, but George Martin on the other side said, if I weren't out of the thing, if I wasn't out of the thing, probably the Sgt. Pepper couldn't have been done.
Even before the Beatles and LSD, there was Charlie Parker and heroin, and all the other jazz musicians that wanted to play like Charlie Parker felt that, you know, in order to play like him, they too had to take heroin, which is very sad, you know, and it's very sad that even when Charlie Parker died of his abuse, his drug abuse, that it didn't deter other musicians doing it. It was the fashion.
That's right. It was fashionable. I mean, he was a great player without taking the drugs. I think that point should be made.
How could you handle this thing being out of drugs?
It's escapism, isn't it? It makes worthwhile. Doing nothing worthwhile. Doing absolutely nothing worthwhile. That's what I think drugs are. And it's a moment in time, I think, in everyone's life. They're there, you know, and they're gone. And with some people, as Keith just mentioned, I think Charlie Parker took them all of his life, which was very sad.
That's true. That's true. You're owing me still the best thing you have been hearing in music throughout all these years. We know about the worst things. What about the best? The best groups, the best kind of music, the best type, the best...
It's hard to say what's the very best, isn't it?
Besides ELP, of course.
It really is. I find myself looking further afield, not the normal everyday records that you'd probably go out and buy, you know, like Sting or something like that, you know. No, I tend to, if I walk into a record store, I tend to go to the world music section, and I may not have heard anything about these people, but I know the sort of style of music that I'm looking for, and it's quite amazing to really discover a record, a CD that is completely unusual. And the last record I had was Bach being played by a South African unit, but not playing, you know, not played on conventional classical instruments. It's that sort of thing which I find fascinating, and I think that in the past, ELP has drawn a lot of influences from world music, and I think it's something we'd like to get into in the future.
What about you, Carl?
What, on world music?
Or the best thing you have been hearing?
It's very hard to sort of say. I think the best sort of movement that I've seen take place within the industry itself is the fact that people are actually playing their instruments. I find that encouraging. I find it encouraging when, having been in a band, for like 27 years or whatever, that there's a certain sound that you create, when these three people play together, or four people, like the Rolling Stones have got a thing. It's nice to see that there are young groups actually cultivating a sound by playing and not using computers, like in the early 80s, the late 80s. I suppose if you look at the movement of the Brit pop, for example, they might not be great players, but they're good singers, good songwriters, and collectively create something which is original. And I think when things are original sounding, which I think we do have a lot coming out of England, I think England's incredibly buoyant right now. I would imagine that's what I think is the good stuff that's happening. I might not necessarily like everything that's going down that these groups are playing, but it's the fact that they're actually creating something that, one, is original, two, they're playing it, and it's so identifiable with our country. I don't think that's important, because England has led the way for an awful long time. It went a little bit quiet. It seems to be coming back quite strong now, So I think that's the best thing that's happened recently, is to see England sort of back on the map, i.e. with the term they call Brit pop, I suppose.
Good. Let's talk about some other things that are not linked with music directly, but are part of art. Movies, for example. I know that you are a movie fan because you're a composer of movie soundtracks, but which are your favorite movies?
For me, it would be Raging Bull, Robert De Niro.
Oh, that's a good one.
And he would probably be my favourite actor too. I don't think there's ever been a character actor that's ever managed to capture what he's captured, from Raging Bull, for example, when you put all that weight on, you can go through nearly every movie that he's ever done. He's just an exceptional character, exceptional. And I cried. I'm not sort of a very emotional person, actually, but I cried a little bit at the end of Raging Bull. There's a moment when he's in Florida and he's in his dressing room, and he's now a comedian. The fight days are over, and he's no longer a club owner. And he's basically doing the comedy circuit, And he's looking in the mirror and he's talking to himself, trying to wind himself up before he goes on, and he just does it so well. I thought, wow, that looks real to me. Exceptional film, exceptional actor, fantastic man.
Great director.
Yeah, as well, yeah.
What about you, Keith?
For me,
you have time to think about it.
No, I don't need any time to think about it at all. I'd say the Magnificent Seven. The score by Elmer Bernstein is just incredible. It stands up on its own. It's just great music. You put that on the car and you want to go places. And I think the film is just it's great. It's got a lot of camaraderie in it. I know it was based on the Kurosawa's Seven Samurai, which is also a very good film.
What about books? Do you usually read novels or classics?
Yeah, I mean, I like
bestsellers, probably.
I like to read some biographies. I don't really get into a lot of fiction. I kind of read a book and put it down and never really finish it, and then go back to it 2 or 3 weeks later. Keith reads a lot more than what I do on a daily basis, mainly because I've seen a lot of him the last 3 weeks. I can tell you that. So, I like to read biographies and stuff. I like to tell you the truth. One of the most fantastic things I like to read is National Geographic. I find that really like the world's greatest newspaper for me, with great pictures, and I love it. Yeah.
What about you, Keith?
If I don't have a book when I'm on tour, I'm really miserable. I have to read, because it is the best way of passing the time. You're sitting around an airport, you're sitting on planes, you're sitting in the dressing room. Touring is, until you get on stage, it's really a question of waiting until you can do things. And I find a book is fabulous. I read a lot of biographies. I'm a big fan of Terry Pratchett. He writes, it's kind of like Monty Python meets Lord of the Rings. It's got a great sense of humour. I like Clive James. I like the way he writes. Yeah.
To round it up, because you're hungry, you have to play in a couple of hours, and short questions for short answers. Beverages. Your preferences, your preferences.
To what?
Beverages, drinks.
Oh, beverages.
Yeah.
Oh. Well,
Are they alcoholic or?
No, whatever you like. You could say milk, it will be okay.
I like to drink red wine. I like Rioja. I like anything, you know, after 89, 92, those years I like. My favourite drink when I'm at home, believe it or not, is I like to have a coffee with a little bit of vanilla liqueur in it. Is what I would say was my all-time drink.
That's good. What about you?
Water, actually. It's very important. And it's very neutral too. You know, you can be sure when you drink that you're going to be okay, and it is doing you good. You know. Other than that, white wine.
Okay.
I don't really get into spirits or anything else like that.
What about a city in the world?
CD.
City. Yeah.
Buenos Aires.
Come on. But now I have to pay to you. I break it. I brought the money.
Wow, you know, there's so many great cities though. I mean, it's hard.
But the one you would love to spend most of your life?
Wow. That's hard.
I mean, I like San Francisco, but I don't know if I'd like to live there all the time.
We're of a generation, really, where it's hard to say you'd like to spend the rest of your life somewhere. We're used to moving, you know.
It's like a shame.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult. I mean, London is a great city. We all like London, you know. We've all got places there.
Day or night?
Both.
I'm a nighttime person.
Oh, I'm a morning time person.
She's up first thing in the morning.
Yeah, I'm morning. Yeah, we're different. Yeah.
A meal, and this is a very sensitive subject now that you're hungry.
Anything really. I eat most things. If it's good, you know. I'm not into a lot of cream sauces and things like that, but yeah, I can eat most things. You know, I enjoy fish and I enjoy meat. Yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, fish number one. Then, you know, occasional steak.
Blondes or brunettes?
Redheads.
You got me there.
I was married to a blonde for 23 years.
He doesn't like blondes.
No, my lady's dark-haired.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, the last one. ELP or other name in the progressive rock history?
Other names in?
Yeah, or is ELP your choice? Talking about progressive music, rock, symphonic rock, progressive rock, or is there any other group that you admire and you would choose, probably together with ELP, in order to say, these are the two best groups in this
well, most of our
music.
Most of our progressive contemporaries have deserted the camp. They've gone on and done other things, you know. So, I mean, I can honestly say I think that we're probably the only ones really holding the flag, really.
They're all it's true, though. You know, you get that. That's a good statement. I mean, you made that a few weeks ago.
And in the old days,
I did, yeah.
During the old days? During the old days? Yeah, that's true.
No, because Genesis have done, they make
Yeah, pop song,
true.
yeah.
And Yes, to a certain extent. I mean, these are both great bands. We're not knocking them, but yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we've tried it too, and we're going back to where we started, you know.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Carol. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Greg, which is the balance of the concerts you have been playing in Argentina?
The balance?
Yeah.
We're doing one more show tonight.
Yeah.
As you know, we played two shows a week or so ago, and we've come back for one more tonight. So.
And which is the best thing and the worst thing? This is a question I already asked to your companions of the two gigs in Buenos Aires.
Oh, I think they were great. I mean, I enjoyed them very much. I think the whole band had, enjoyed playing here.
Which is the secret to keep you together after all these years? And from my opinion, I think that you are playing better than ever.
I think, Emerson, Lake and Palmer has a special chemistry that it just is a very special and individual sound. and for some reason we have a way of balancing each other. You know, we have different things we bring into the band, which make it very colourful and sometimes quite dramatic. And I think that's what it is that people like about the band.
Do you see each other beside being touring or?
Sure.
Yeah. What is your favorite
Although, you know, I mean,
pastime when you are together? When you're not playing music, do you play cards? Do you I don't
Well,
know,
no, I
go
mean,
to the movies or,
yeah,
or
we-
have dinners with your wives?
Yeah, we would do anything. I mean, and what normal people would do,
Yeah.
you know, go. But mainly, I mean, when you're on a tour like this, you spend so much time together. You know, when you're finished, it's good to go and do something else. But yeah, we do. You know, we meet each other socially and go out for dinner, or you know, go watch a film, go to the theatre. Just different things, ordinary things that ordinary people do. You know?
Do you have this kind of relationship, for example, with the other groups you were involved with? Let's say, for example, with the people of King Crimson when you were...
Yeah, I'm still very friendly with all the boys in King Crimson. Yeah, we actually all met up the other day in New York to launch a new album, which was called Epitaph. It's some of the old live recordings of King Crimson.
Yeah, it is already here.
It's already
yeah,
already got it.
A double CD.
Things happen faster, don't they? But anyway, yeah, you know, I keep a good relationship with them, and it's one of the very nice things about both bands that I've been in is the people are very nice, and the friendships have endured over the years.
What are your memories about those days with King Crimson? Another very important band in the progressive rock era.
Well, it was a kind of magical and enchanted time, you know. The music of King Crimson came from the time, you know, whereas music today is made for the time. You know, people make music for the time and for the media and for marketing and for MTV. And then the music came from the time. It was part of the culture, and it was a sort of poetry of the feeling of the time. And in London at that time, you know, it was all bound up with fashion, King's Road, the sort of underground music movement, which really began the progressive music thing. And it was just a wonderful time when people were looking for new freedoms and new ways to express themselves, I think, really. They were tired of that sort of 1950s conformity of, you know, their parents telling them what to do and everything. And they become teenagers, and music was the form of their expression. That's how they expressed themselves, through music. And that's how all those wonderful songs that the Beatles wrote, ending up, I suppose, with probably the greatest of them all, which was the song Imagine by John Lennon. You know, tremendous vision of it.
Yeah, that's a great lyric. Greg, even though Palmer and Emerson have his solo career, you probably are the most successful solo artist out of ELP. How do you manage and you handle your solo career, put it aside for a while, and get involved again with the band?
Really, you know, I do things as a solo artist when the band's not so active. But really, you know, I'm a singer in a band is what I am, you know. I don't sort of look upon myself as having a solo career, you know, because I don't think you can really do two things. But sometimes I do little things. I write something, or
actually just being released a record, you playing live for the King Biscuit Flower series.
That was something. Well, I formed a band with a guitar player called Gary Moore, and we recorded a live concert in London. And years afterwards, somebody played me the tape. I'd never heard it.
Oh, really?
They played the tape and they said, "Have you heard this?" And I, no. We played it. I thought, wow, that is good. You know, it was one of those really special nights. It was where everybody played well and the sound was good and the audience was great and everything worked out well. So they said, you know, would you ever consider releasing it? this company, King Biscuit, had done a series of these concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think it's a nice record to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. Greg, plans after this tour, after touring America and going back to Europe, where you live? I think you still live in England.
Yes, I've got a house in London.
Do you plan to record a new album for ELP?
Yeah, we throughout the winter, I think we shall begin recording new music.
Will it be linked with the short format of songs like you have been doing with Black Moon and the...
I don't think so. I think it'll be more a conceptual, conceptual record. There are a number of ideas that we're working on at the moment. So I hate to talk about records before they're made.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Because they always change, you know. If you say you're going to make an album like this and you say that's how it is, 3 weeks later it's completely changed.
What do you think about the new movement in the progressive rock? Groups like Arena, Pendragon, Parliament Project, etc. Are you familiar with these groups? Do you respect them as a continuation?
I think any music that stretches out to be different, I think is good. Because, otherwise, you keep hearing more or less the same songs done in the same way, and everything's more or less the same. And I think it is a great thing that people try and reach out and do something different and bring to the public something new. Otherwise, we'll all be listening to these same songs.
The song remains the same.
The song remains the same, and it's the video that changes, and even they become the same, So yeah, I really do welcome some new thoughts, in music.
Great, Greg. Thanks a lot. I know that you have to be playing a couple of hours, so thanks for this interview.
It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Pleasure.